Look at you being a little secretary there.
I'm doing some notes.
What are you writing down?
I'm doing some notes, some points. So I want. Listen, I have a dilemma. We've never done a video like that, and I'm a bit concerned.
What, like what? What is this video? Why are you worried? We're just going to talk about something we watched. We've done that before.
Yes, but we are not watching. We are not reacting. We're just reviewing.
Yeah, but we did that with Black Mirror. We talked about it after we watched it.
Yeah, they're making me less dramatic. I don't like it. It's like I want to be drama queen.
Are you saying that I'm manipulating you? And I'm predicting your behaviour?
Are you?
You'll never know.
Hello.
Hiya.
I'm Joy.
And I'm Boy.
And today we are going to do something a bit different.
We're trying to be a bit highbrow.
This? What?
No, we're trying to talk about something serious and a little bit more intellectual than usual. In a professional way. What? No, it won't be professional.
Come on. Us professional. They left the video now. We watched together a couple of days ago The Social Dilemma.
And we want to talk about it.
And we want to talk about it. So we are talking about Social Dilemma starting after this. I know you're going to dance now. I'm predicting it.
Do you know which moves I'm going to use? How long I'm going to do each move?
Well, if this is your first time in our channel,
I am.
and welcome. Please consider subscribing to our channel if you haven't done so, and also thank you so much for all your new subscribers, all the likes, all the views, all the comments. Thank you so much. And
if this is the first time on your channel and this is your first experience of us, we're not normally like this.
No.
I say that for good or bad. I'm not sure how it's going to go yet.
No pressure. But also if this is your first time in our channel, we're also doing the following. It's important to say, whatever we are saying here, we are sharing with you our own honest opinion, and we do not wish to offend anybody. But if we are offending you, we are sorry.
Sleep.
The Social Dilemma, deep discussion, starting now. What you doing? Oh God. Advertise? Are you manipulating them? Are you manipulating?
I'm showing them the social media logos.
Ah, but probably it was too close at the focus and
No, it was absolutely perfect.
Okay.
So, 2 days ago, I was feeling very tired and I was going to go to bed at 9:30.
Unheard of.
This one put something on Netflix and I thought, well, I'll just sit here on my phone for a couple of minutes and then I'll go to bed. And
Did
then
you use Facebook before, while you watched?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Then I was completely engrossed in this documentary.
And you don't like documentaries?
I don't watch documentaries and I couldn't not watch it. Before we knew it, it was 12 o'clock because we kept pausing and discussing.
So first of all, we are going to discuss about some things. So if you haven't watched it,
spoiler alert.
It's spoiler alert. And also, if you haven't watched it, we recommend you to watch it. What you decide to do afterwards,
I don't think I've ever watched anything that was so
debate inspiring.
Like we had to keep pausing it because we couldn't not talk about it.
It's like we filmed and we stopped, like we're pausing songs and we talked about them. It's like it happened on real. We don't
things they said on the screen. We immediately had a debate about.
It's a must watch and give it the respect it deserves. Now, the main thing I think we both felt is that there was a lot weight of the negativity.
The tone was very negative.
And yes, they did mention about the good things the social media brought to our life. I would like to think our channel is a good thing. But they spoke briefly at the beginning about the good things it brings.
So if you haven't seen it, they talk about the effect of social media and the way that they're programmed.
Interviewing the former employees of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google, TikTok.
And we don't talk about TikTok on this channel. Yes, but whatever. They didn't talk much about TikTok anyway in that show, so that's fine. Good.
So there was a whole scripted storyline going on to back up what they were talking about.
Yes.
And it was really, really stupid because these people were behaving in such unbelievable ways. Like, it was... This story basically was the boy goes on his phone quite a lot, so he ends up getting arrested. It's like, but that's not what you're saying.
That's not the link. You know.
They had 3 people inside who were his brain responding to his phone and the social media, and they were all villains, essentially, weren't they? They were like in a high-tech lab making decisions and being villainous, and I was a bit like... The rest of it was really clever.
But the scripted things try to show you the real life, while all those former employees of those companies talked. And But there were some things there that, when they were said, shocked me.
Obviously, I knew Facebook and Google stores things, so stuff I've searched,
Yeah.
so it recommends adverts, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But to the extent of what these programs do,
With the data.
can take the data and use it. And yes, they were saying it was all negative. In some respects, some of it was really cool. Like, you know, it remembers what you've looked at and recommends things to you. And I'm going, we had an argument. I was like, but that's great. If someone recommends me an advert for a product and I then buy it, it means I wanted to buy it. But then they started to talk about how things were being recommended to people that would then have a negative effect. For instance,
Suicide rate.
No, the conspiracy theories. Oh, that's what you meant. Yeah. Conspiracy theories.
I mean, there are a lot of things, but yes, the conspiracy theories. It was quite interesting they talked about the corona as well. So it was like,
Yes.
it felt really, really,
Yeah.
really up to date.
It
Those
shows
conspiracy to
how
just go is
if you've searched for a conspiracy theory, it then recommends more to you. And what it was saying that is, if you are prone to believing extreme things, the more you're bombarded with it, the more you're going to take on board, and the more extreme your behaviour will become. Now, I was like, do people really do that? Are people really that easily swayed? Apparently they are.
It talked about the hill.
Yes, taking the easy route,
Yeah.
which is, I'll just carry on reading these same things.
When we talk about conspiracies and we talked about what it makes people feel, and I had this feeling of it's part of our evolution anyway as people. Like the technology really developed, so maybe this is another, maybe just Facebook is a platform that facilitates this instead of just causing it more to grow more and more. But what I couldn't ignore is facts and numbers. And I think that affected you a lot.
They said that people born after 1996 will be the first generation who will go to middle school with social media and be using it. And then they gave some numbers of how the rates of suicide in 12 to 15s had gone up massively since 2008, 9, 10 when social media started. And then the suicide rates of 9 to 11-year-olds. It's like, I couldn't believe that. I was like, how does a 9-year-old child even understand what suicide is, let alone do it? And there was a correlation between the time social media arrived and that change.
So that I kind of take it as, you know what, there is a connection there. For sure there is a connection there. And the question is, do those companies do enough to prevent it?
And I then countered that, didn't I?
Yeah.
You were saying, no, they're doing something that's causing something bad, they should take responsibility. And I said, Sainsbury's sells alcohol, which causes alcoholism, which leads to many bad things, but we don't demand that Sainsbury's take responsibility for that. However, later on in the documentary, they then talked about how all those other things are regulated.
Yes.
Drink selling is regulated. Drink advertising is regulated. Social media is not. Anything that happens on there is fair game. And that was like, oh, okay, you have a point. These companies are allowing anything to be spread to anyone.
But to encounter what you say about Sainsbury is, it costs money to buy alcohol. It doesn't cost money to use those software. And that takes me to another statement that was in that program when they say, if you're using a free product, you are the product. And
there was a quote, wasn't it? The only two industries where they call their customers users are drugs. And computing.
And computers, yeah.
They talked a lot about the chemical response of our brains to using phones. And to begin with, I was like, because I'm one of these people, like, I think technology's great. I just think humans can be a bit rubbish sometimes. So I was saying, why are they saying that this is all bad? Because we can now do some great things. But they explained how when we had phones as a teenager, all we could do was ring someone or make a text with less than 100 characters unless we wanted to spend 20 pence. Now, these kids are, or anyone who is so addicted to their phone, when they hear an alert, their brain releases dopamine. And they become addicted to using...
Oh, who sent me that message?
I've got a message.
I had
interaction.
A notification. There was a nice joke from that guy saying... when are you checking your phone first thing in the morning? When you open your eyes or while you wee? This is the only two options. and this is because, yes, it is taking control of our life. Now, I think that as an adult, and I would like to think as an educated, intelligent adult, I feel that I can make my decisions correct. I think that I can say, okay, Facebook is too much for me, I need a break, or oh, come on, those notifications. I started, since this show, I started
turn them off?
No, I started to remove ads, hide ads. I don't want to see those ads anymore. I started every ad that comes, I'm hiding it.
Don't you do that normally?
No, it was there. I'm just scrolling up, down, and just ignoring it.
Oh, you mean on Facebook?
Yeah. I'm hiding,
okay.
hiding ad, and they ask me,
Well,
why
I
are you
thought-
hiding? It's not appropriate. I don't care. Just hide it.
What I also thought was interesting was they talked about how these apps are tracking how long you spend looking at a certain picture that they've recommended to you, what makes you stop scrolling to then look at that picture, and they go, oh, this worked. They kind of implied that there was this evil mastermind behind it all, without actually saying it. They didn't make enough point, I think, of saying this is just happening because of the programming.
Yeah.
It was very like, oh, they are doing this, they are doing that, and it's like, well, no, this is just happening. But it's still interesting. Because now when I was on Instagram today and I was scrolling and I stopped and I went, oh, my phone now has logged that I stopped on this picture and not the ones before. What's it going to do with that? And then I thought, I don't really care what it does with that.
I'm worried about the younger generation as parents to almost 10 years old kids.
Who are desperate for phones.
Desperate for phones, very intrigued to see what's that all about. I'm concerned how, as parents, we educate our kids.
That was
to
what I
use
felt it was
correctly the phones.
missing. This show was all about, this is all bad, this is all bad. When actually I think it should have gone down the route of saying, let's educate people about these things so that they can use them safely. It was more like, this is all wrong, and people saying, stop using it. When we all know people are going to use it and want to, so we just need to put more effort into making them have the right tools to use them properly and not to their detriment.
And this is a question to the big companies. What really got to me is one of the guys said, we knew we are causing a problem and we still did it. We all love this technology, or most of us love this technology. Most of us are Facebook users, most of us are Instagram users.
If you're watching this, then you use YouTube.
And you're YouTube users, and we contribute to YouTube, and we want, and they talked a lot about the recommendations on YouTube and how they are manipulating the way. I still don't get why when I'm going to our YouTube recommendation, we get
it recommends a really bad video of ours.
It's like
we've seen it. We don't want to see it again. It was really bad.
I don't understand. So all this YouTube thing was looked to me a bit, well, but YouTube is more like, it's a content that I want to watch. Facebook and Instagram are an issue. And what the companies are doing, or what those platforms are doing in order for the young generation, or for us to protect the younger generation from that suicidal rate to go up and up and up. The last thing I would like to mention is the election stuff. It was interesting.
That was fascinating.
It was very, very fascinating because in the one hand, they encourage more people to vote.
He gave some stats that a load of people voted that wouldn't have voted because they got recommended things on Facebook. And I said, well, that's great. People have the right to vote. Anything that makes them go and use that right is brilliant. But then they talked about how all the things on Facebook were being manipulated. So the bubble of information each person was being given was smaller and smaller, and they were only seeing their views, and anything different from that was wrong. Yeah. And there's no way to control that because, like, again, I say in real life, yes, you surround yourself with people who are similar to you, but they are going to be different to you. You're not in this bubble of everything is my ideal, everything aligns with my views. You are forced to see other views, and you are forced to accept other people's views and deal with them rather than just go, this is wrong, you're a bigot, or...
But again, it takes us to that Google search thing.
Oh yeah.
The whole idea of when you go to Google and type for something and search for something, and then...
How big is...
And
then it also
a
corrects.
list. And then if you're in the UK, you get a different result. If you are in a different country...
Based on what else you've looked at on Google, you get different recommended.
And then there was another guy saying, imagine you would have gone to Wikipedia, and every time in Wikipedia in different country you would have seen a different value or different meaning of it.
But we know that happens. Certain countries do block certain things on the internet.
Yes,
censorship.
But if you go to find information about something, it should be one, or at least as minimum of explanation of what this thing is.
Unless your government is censoring it. When we do our trending travels, China is not an option on YouTube. We cannot go onto Chinese YouTube and see what is trending there. So they don't even have the option of seeing anything else than what they want. And that, for me, is more of a pressing concern that someone is, because that is a decision being made by an individual, a few individuals, to not let people see things. When it's a program that's doing it and it's manipulating what you see, that's not necessarily evil or bad.
So basically, what you're saying, it's not a black or white.
It's not. On the other hand, the main guy in it was really, really gorgeous.
Oh God!
Oh my God! Every time he was on screen, I was just like,
Tristan.
Yeah. Oh, he was gorgeous.
Tristan, if you watch it, you have a fan here.
We looked him up on Instagram, ironically.
He doesn't.
He only had 5 posts. Yeah.
Ironically. I don't know. Tell us. Let us know in the comments below what your thoughts about the social dilemma and what dilemma. Are you in a dilemma now? Did it change something in your behavior? Do you think about it? Do you think it's stupid? Do you think they're all, you know, it's all...
Because when it started and it was all they're storing this information, my usual go-to argument is, yeah, but if you're not doing anything wrong, what's the big issue?
Yeah.
If you've got nothing to hide, what's the issue? But then they talked about how all of this data on us is being sold to companies, to advertisers, and we are being mined, they said. And yeah, there's not really an immediate negative impact if a company knows I like to buy dinosaur toys and advertises a dinosaur toy to me. I think what they should have gone on about was more the human behaviour as a result of these apps. The scripty thing had a boy joining a protest and it got violent, blah, blah, blah. But there have been so many violent protests recently. And I said, on one hand, the Black Lives Matter thing happened because of social media. So great. But on the other hand, the amount of hate you see on social media, all people do is argue and hate and start fights. And
Me Too campaign started in
exactly.
social media. So where's
some
the
great
balance?
movements
Where
came.
is the balance? When is it actually
But
good movement and when is it actually bad
movement? When we were 20 years ago, the amount of hatred we see on news articles from people, that wouldn't have existed because people didn't have a platform to voice that hate. So they probably dealt with it. If you were in a pub and you chatting to someone and they had a different view to you, you'd have a conversation with them. You wouldn't write this comment in the tone that people do nowadays.
Yeah.
And that is a human behaviour more than the way an algorithm's written. And that's what the issue is for me, the way people treat each other.
What are you looking at? I'm looking at the screen to see if it stopped. But did you finish your sentence? No, I forgot what I was saying. Oh God, sorry to disturb you. It's fine. I'm so sorry. I was not focused. No, you wasn't. Oh my God, you're bad. Yeah, I'm sorry, that was really smelly.
Yeah, like I said, whatever you come away from after watching it, I've never seen anything that made us discuss so much. We had slightly different views,
yes,
but we just talked about it for so long.
Yeah,
like they'd say something, I was like, pause it right now, I want to talk about this. And we did.
It was a bit violent as well. You know, we can sit here and talk hours and hours about this, but please let us know in the comments below what you thought about this social dilemma, and if you watched it, and if it changed your mind about something, if you see
I've been so much more aware of what I'm doing when I use Facebook since I watched it.
Yes, I do as well, and that's why.
And that's a good thing.
Yes, because every show that makes you to do something, you know, I don't think there is
also,
negative.
If you've never looked at your screen time on your phone, look that up, because I've been monitoring that for the last few months, and it's really fascinating. When you're actually given stats on how much you use your phone, like how many times you literally pick it up to look at it, it tells you that as well. You suddenly go, oh, yeah.
But do watch us though, and use whatever device you want, but don't, you know, just watch us, don't go. You know, don't think that we are just go away.
So one of the things he said about YouTube was never click a link for a recommended video. However, if when this video finishes, there's a recommended video to another one of our videos, what's the harm?
Just ignore what he said.
The other guy then said, turn off notifications.
Yes.
Don't take your phone into your bedroom. Didn't he? And then there was one other. Was it at meal times, get rid of them?
Yeah.
But there was some
We
good
did the
advice.
rule
It was like,
today.
okay.
We did the rule today.
And turning off notifications, I think, is a very good idea.
Are you ready to do it? This is courage. To turn off notification, it means
From Facebook, yes, I could.
No, Facebook, yeah, it's easy. But WhatsApp? Messenger?
Yeah, so they also started talking about how WhatsApp was doing this as well, and I was like, well, WhatsApp has one purpose, so I can't get on board that WhatsApp is evil and manipulating me, because WhatsApp doesn't recommend me anything.
All those groups that existing in WhatsApp.
Yeah, but what is WhatsApp recommending me? What is manipulating me into doing? Facebook, yes. Click on this, click on this. WhatsApp is just, you've got a message. Someone literally sent you a message. That is black and white.
Let's stop here, because again, we can talk about it hours, so I think if you survive until here, well done. If you like this video, thumbs up. Please consider subscribing to our channel if you haven't done so.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, send us some messages.
Or don't do those things because you might have been being manipulated into doing those things. Or do them because you think you're being manipulated to not do them, and it's a double bluff.
Or just make your own choice.
Buy some sweet threads from our Teespring store. If you'd like to join our translation team, send us an email to
toyandgoy@gmail.com or find us on Instagram
@toyandgoy.
What was that speech? You little Martin Luther King. And until next time, see you guys very, very soon. Bye!
Didn't predict that, did you?